Hello and welcome back, aviation fans. Today we're flying this beautiful Boeing 777-200ER from PMDG Simulations, and I just departed New York on runway 04 left, and we're going to turn the aircraft around to come back into runway 04 right for a VOR approach. And this video is to demonstrate you how you can fly a VOR approach. So today we're flying the VOR approach like you would in the real world with the airlines. You fly it in LNAV and VNAV because almost nobody flies an VOR approach with vertical speed and heading select. You can do that, and that will be a topic for another video, but today we are focusing on how you would fly a VOR approach like in the airlines. So stick around and have fun. So first thing we do with any kind of approaches, we come to the FMC, we hit departure arrival, and we go to the arrival section, and then we just look for our desired approach. Here it is, VOR 04 right, and we select it. We're gonna select it like it is, execute it, hit the legs key, and then we check the points. So BEP key is our final approach fixed at 1500 or above. Then we can see the runway 04 right, and for the go around 420 feet, then a heading 100 to intercept 041 to Delta Papa Kilo, which should be the Deer Park holding VOR, excuse me. And we're gonna fly a holding in the missed approach with 258 left turns. Alright, that looks good. I will give myself here a heading for our downwind, something like this. Then we have to set our minimums. So the minimums on the chart for a category Delta aircraft, which the 777 is, would be 540, but we want to add 50 feet to that, so 590 is what we like to set. So here we go, 590, our minimums are set. You want to add 50 feet additionally because the 540 is your minimum descent altitude, and you do not want to go below it. You only can fly below your minimum descent altitude if you have visual contact to the runway. So we have to be visually inside with the runway to be able to continue. Alright, I'm just gonna flick the auto brakes to 4. You would calculate your landing distance. You can do it here with your landing distance calculator. So next thing we're gonna do, we check the fuel trend. We have 17.4. It's indicating that we're gonna land with 16,000 pounds. So this number probably is not gonna be accurate, so just gonna tell the computer we're gonna land with 421. So our estimated landing weight, and I want to fly this with flaps 30, so I'm going to paste the speed in here so you can see flaps 30, speed 132. Wonderful. And we can also insert the weight here, 421. No, not like this. 421000. We hit calculate with auto brakes 4. We're able to get off the runway in around 5,000 feet, so that is plenty of distance. Okay, then we hit the red nav page, and we want to make sure that the aircraft auto-tuned all the correct frequency for. So our main navigation facility for this approach obviously is a VOR, so you can see VOR left and right. We both have the JFK VOR, so you have to flick this one on because we have to see the green needle for the VOR approach. After all, it's still a VOR approach, and you need to see the VOR needle, even though we're gonna fly it in LNAV and VNAV. You have to cross-check that the original station, which is the JFK VOR, is within plus or minus 5 degrees of the final approach course, and the final approach course today is 028. If we exceed plus or minus 5 degrees, we would have to fly a go around. We're already on a downwind, so we can extend our extended center line. So BEP key, and like I said, final course 028. There we go. We hit it into the intercept course 2, execute it, and we can see a nice extended center line here in magenta, which we're trying to intercept here in a minute in LNAV. I had some problems with intercepting this in LNAV, but we will see how the airplane will do today. So we take BEP key and we take it to the fix info and we paste it in here, and I will draw a 2 nautical mile circle around it for reference, because that is the latest where I have to turn down my altitude towards our minimums of 590. I will show you here in a second. We can already arm VNAV so we don't forget it. Currently on VNAV path, and we go to speed intervention because he will slow us below our minimum clean speed. Alright, there we go. VNAV path, speed 220, all looking good. Alright, so for the briefing, it's gonna be VOR 04 right into JFK. We have cross-checked the frequency 115.9, approach course 028. We have landing distance runway of 8,400 feet, touchdown zone elevation is 12 feet, so we should be stable around 1,000 feet. And we checked the missed approach. Missed approach is climbing right turn 4,000 feet, heading 100, and Victor 44 to Deer Park VOR and hold 258 inbound left turns. MSA highest sector is 2,900. We're currently above it. Minimums 540, and we added 50 feet, so 590 is set. Short approach 4.9 miles from BEP key, standard 3-degree glide, and then we have to maneuver to the runway, so I will disconnect as soon as we see the runway clear and visible. And because the final approach course of 048 is offset by at least 12 or 15 degrees to the runway. Okay, so we can read the checklist. So recall, there's no open items. We checked all the notes, there's nothing on the aircraft. Auto brakes 4, landing data is flaps 30, 132 and 590 for the minimums. Approach briefing completed. Now we can do the approach checklist. Altimeters are set to 992, 3,000 feet, and that is all cross-checked. Okay, then we can come in for a base. Alright, so we're turning in base. We can check on the progress page. We got 21 miles till JFK. We're at 3,000 feet, so 3,000 feet times 3 equals 9 miles. So at 9 miles we should start our descent roughly from 3,000 feet. You can also enter JFK in here. This will give you a direct distance to JFK. I will paint a 25 nautical mile circle for the MSA for reference, but you can see here distance is 20 miles directly to the runway or to the airport. So this is almost the same number, so that is good for reference. You can see our 2 nautical mile ring around BEP key. And now just trying to vector us in here to intercept the final approach course. And I will slowly start with the turn. And as soon as we're established, we can turn down the altitude to 1,500 feet. We can see 1,500 here at BEP key. At 2 miles before BEP key, I'm going to turn it to 590. And we want to be in speed LNAV, VNAV path. And we have to be in speed intervention, which we currently are. If you go like this, the aircraft has the speed, so it's in total control. like this, we can still manipulate our speed ourselves. So I'm going for a intercept. Something like this. And I'm going to hit LNAV, and it already captured it. And we can see here, this is our needle from the VOR. We could also check it like this. Not like this. Here in VOR, this is the course where we want to be on. This is our course deviation indicator. And this should be centered, and we should be tracking down on 028. Well, we're gonna leave it like this. We got the needle here. The needle should point to 028. So this is 030. It should be somewhere over here. So we're almost within 5 degrees. Now we're within 5 degrees. Looks like we're about to be established. We can turn it down to 1500 feet. And it says VNAV path, so it should descend by itself. And I'm gonna configure the airplane here so that we don't come in too hot. So flaps going to 1, speed is going to 1. And we're 12 miles from the runway. This is also indication for our VNAV path, the same here. So we are within 52 feet of our vertical path, which is good. So we're gonna set the final course or heading. So it should be 028, almost no winds today. And it looks like we're descending, so flaps 5, so we don't overspeed. So the 5 here is representing the minimum speed I can fly with flaps 5. Just going to slow it down further. So now we're 9 miles from the runway. And the airport should be somewhere over here. Alright, here we go. Bepke, the green banana is at Bepke, where we should be at 1500 feet. That looks good. We are in LNAV, speed intervention, and VNAV path. All looking good. Looks like we're gonna make our restriction. We're about to approach 2 nautical miles, so I can turn down our altitude to our calculated minimums, 590. So 540 plus 50 feet, 590. Now we'll go flaps 15. And flaps 15 and flaps 20 share the same speed. Just go to 160 here. And we're 1900 feet above the airdrome, so gear down, flaps 20. You see the 15 changed to 20 because it's the same speed. And for our final flaps, we can go as fast as 170 for flaps 30. And we are below that, so we can go flaps 30. And our final approach speed, 132 plus 5 knots equals 137. You never want to fly at the VREF. You always want to add at least 5 knots or more, depending on the wind. You can see the coastline, we can see the runway. And we're coming down nicely. Let's do the landing checklist. We have to arm the speed brakes. Speed brakes armed and all green. Landing checklist completed. And for the minimums, you can set the minimums if you are 300 feet below missed approach altitude. So we are below that, so we can set 4,000 feet and it should continue to descend. There we go, 4,000 feet missed approach altitude set. And now we'll Flight is manually. Flight director's off.
Plus 100.
There we go. We're approaching our minimums. We are visual to the runway. I'm aiming for the white markings on the runway.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, and I will go to manual braking. And there we go, we made it to the runway. Gonna set the parking brake. So parking brake is set, and that is how you would fly a VOR approach in a Boeing aircraft. You fly it in LNAV, VNAV. If you want to see it in heading select and vertical speed, like you would have flown it in the old days, please let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video and follow along for some more aviation content. See you around.